In the previous video, we saw that the subject and the verb are the two most important elements that come together to form a sentence, right? So the next question that comes to our mind is what can be a subject of a sentence? In the sense that what exactly forms the subject in the sentence. And here in a table, we have given the different forms in which the subject might appear. Okay, so please don't get into the technicalities of things here. Let's not worry about what is a gerund, a noun phrase. Just look at the examples given here. You please turn a blind eye to the left hand column and please pay attention only to what is there on the right hand side. The large car stopped outside our house, right? So here we have the verb stopped. His constant hammering was annoying. Here we have the verb was. To read is easier than to write. So here we have the verb is. That he had traveled the world was known to everyone. Here we have the verb was. Whatever he did was always of interest. I love you is often heard these days. Take out the trash. Here the subject is not visible. Take out, take is the verb here. And here we have it is Sunday, is the verb. Now we have almost 8 different kinds of subjects, and we will see how to spot the subject. Now, the moment you see the verb and what follows the verb is usually the predicate. So the moment you have the verb plus what comes after the verb, you try to frame a question. And the question is, what stopped outside our house? So the moment you frame a question, and the question could be from what, the question could be who, the question could be in many ways. But usually when the question that best comes out is basically the right question, and the thing that answers that question is the subject of the sentence. So the large car stopped outside our house. The question is, what stopped outside our house? And the answer is the large car. The answer is the subject of the sentence. His constant hammering was annoying. What was annoying? And the answer is his constant hammering was annoying. So here you have the subject. To read is easier than to write. What is easier than to write? And the answer is to read. To read is easier than to write, the subject. What was known to everyone? That he had traveled the world was known to everyone. So again, you have to look at the verb. You have to frame a question looking at what comes after the verb. You have to look at after the verb and frame a question. What was always of interest? Whatever he did was always of interest. What is often heard these days? I love you is often heard these days. Take out the trash. Now, here the subject is not visible. The subject is implied. You are looking at someone and you are giving the instruction, take out the trash. The person at whom you are looking becomes the subject of the sentence. So if I look at you and say, get out, you become the subject of the sentence. The subject is silent, he is not visible, it is implied. It is Sunday, and here again, it is nothing. It is basically zero subject. It is doing nothing but introducing a subject. So here again we have a complicated thing. The word it can be a pronoun, and the word it can be an empty subject. The way we say that it is my book. So it refers to basically some object. But when you say it is Sunday, it is nothing but an empty subject. It introduces the subject Sunday. So this is an expletive. Does not bother much with this right now. As we develop the sessions, you would get a clearer picture as to what is an expletive. For the time being, we can just eliminate here by saying that it is a Sunday. It is the subject here. It is zero. It refers to nothing. It is a zero subject. So what we have seen in all these examples is that if you spot the verb and you ask a question, keeping in mind what comes after the verb, the subject often answers. The one that gives the answer is the subject. For example, if you say, he is intelligent, right? So when you say he is intelligent, you look at the verb and you frame a question. And what kind of question? You wouldn't say what is intelligent. Of course, the obvious question is who is intelligent, and the answer is he is intelligent, right? He is in Delhi, and the question that comes here is I will put the verb is He is in Delhi. And the question is, who is in Delhi? And the answer is, he is in Delhi, right? So you have to frame the right question, keeping the verb in mind, and the one that gives the answer is usually the subject of the sentence. A subject of a sentence can be of so many kinds. It can be a noun phrase, it can be a gerund phrase, it can be an infinitive, it can be a that clause, it can be relative clause, it can be a direct quotation. The subject may not be there, and it, which is a zero subject, can also be the subject of a sentence. So, what we learn in this lesson is the subject of the sentence need not always be a single word like he, she, it, they, John, Peter. It can be anything. It can be a single word, it can be a phrase, it can even be a clause, right? Look at this, it's a clause. The second one is a relative clause. The first one is a that clause, right? So the subject can come in variety of shapes and sizes and forms, and you must be ready to quickly spot the subject. Once your subject is in place and you know where the verb is, your job is done. 50% of grammar is nothing but spotting the subject and the verb and arranging them in the right way, in the right order. In the next videos, we will see the rules that define subject-verb agreement and what are the exceptions to those rules.